What's going on, everyone? It's Justin here, and today we've got an unboxing and first look at the brand new iPhone 12 Pro Max, which is the biggest phone that Apple has ever made. So I'm gonna go ahead and unbox it, set it up, give you a walkthrough of the new features and the specs, as well as some of the differences that it has from its smaller brother, because usually the Pro models are pretty much the same aside from the size. But this year, the iPhone 12 Pro Max has a few different tricks up its sleeve in terms of the camera sensor being larger, and for any smartphone photographer and videographer, that is all very exciting but can be confusing for some. And the display is also very big. It is actually larger than the iPhone 11 Pro Max, so for some it might actually start to push the limit of being too big of a phone. I also have the iPhone 12 mini right here, so I'm going to unbox that in a separate video. We're going to link that as well, and I've also got videos of the iPhone 12 and 12 Pro from last month, so make sure you guys check the description section below because everything is going to be there. And one of the videos that I have planned is to actually take this up on a helicopter. I spent quite a bit of money on that to try to bring you guys a nice video to really test that stabilization and see if the camera is that much better compared to last year's phone as well as the iPhone 12 Pro. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, drop a like on this video, and also leave a comment down below if you guys have any questions of this phone. So we're just going to take off this first layer of plastic and slide it off. And I am personally very curious about just how big this phone is, because from the box itself, it looks like it is going to be massive. So here's the iPhone 12 Pro Max, and similar to the look of the iPhone 12 Pro, which I'm going to compare the size to right there, you could see that it is significantly larger. One thing that you're really going to notice right away is actually the camera bump is larger, and the reason for that is because it has sensor shift stabilization, which is going to be great for video, but also the fact that it has a larger sensor. The megapixel count is the same, the f-stop and everything is the same, but the sensor is larger than the one on every other iPhone from this year. So I'm going to peel this film off here. It used to be plastic, but it looks like Apple has tried to kind of transition away from that. And other than that, you've also got a box that shows you designed by Apple in California, and also USB Type-C to Lightning cable for charging. So there you have that. And of course, this year, one of the big features of the brand new iPhone is the fact that it has MagSafe support and also the accessories that are made with that. So here we have the MagSafe, and that also uses USB Type-C, but you do have to purchase this separately. And so far, after a few weeks of trying out next generation iPhones, I can tell you that MagSafe is a pretty nice feature to have, and it definitely does work. And the fast charging speed of 15 watts is double of a traditional charger that the phone is able to support. Nothing too different about that. You can use your MacBook charger, for example, if you want to get the fast charging, or you can also buy the power adapter from the website. Otherwise, that looks like it is pretty much it. You have your instruction and your SIM eject tool. The box itself, as you probably know by now, is very small. It is thin, and I really like the black color of it, so I think that's cool. In terms of my favorite colors, the blue looks really good, and I really like to check out the new colors, but I did skip last year because green is just not my favorite color. But I also really like the graphite, and I heard the gold looks really nice, but I haven't personally checked that one out yet, so there's kind of a look at the blue itself. And from first impressions, I can tell you this phone does feel absolutely massive. So there you can see, even though the difference is not like absolutely groundbreaking or anything, the size of the iPhone 11 Pro was already pretty big. And the reason why I decided to go for it is because I felt like the iPhone 11 Pro was way too small. But this year, Apple has made the decision a little bit harder for the better, and that is because they made an iPhone 12 Pro that is the same size as the iPhone 12. So these are both 6.1, which I feel like is going to be the perfect size for most people out there. As you can see, a 0.6 inch size difference in the display is relatively significant. So yeah, you're really gonna have to make your decision there. And for someone like myself who takes tons of photos on my iPhone and even uses it as a main camera sometimes, the choice is even harder because the iPhone 12 Pro Max has a larger sensor in the main camera. It also lets in 87% more light in low light. And it also has a 2.5x telephoto camera, which is more than the 2x that you're gonna find on the iPhone 12 Pro. I also think the iPhone has some of the best video, and I really wanna take advantage of the stabilization features on the iPhone 12 Pro Max. So I'm going to use this phone for a couple weeks and kind of decide whether the 12 Pro or the 12 Pro Max is going to be the one. So that is kind of like a real world size difference of the iPhone 12 Pro Max as well as the iPhone 11 Pro Max. And from a 6.5 to 6.7, you can notice that most of the difference is just in the height. But with the squared off edges, the phone itself, just from first impressions, definitely feels quite a bit larger. The battery life from what I heard though is really good, which is always nice. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn this on and set it up for you guys and kind of walk through the process and maybe give you like a really quick look at some of the great features of this brand new phone. I'm gonna fly through this and then I'm gonna slowly kind of set it up and bring everything over from my iPhone 11 Pro. So now while we wait for the setup process, I'm gonna stand these up right next to each other and you guys can take a look at kind of the differences in terms of size. And as I mentioned, if it wasn't for the camera and if it wasn't someone who like really wanted the best camera that was available on an iPhone, then I think the easy choice is the iPhone 12 Pro. I think it's just like the perfect size to be able to use like one-handed. It fits in all the pockets very nicely. Whereas this, if you have like small pockets like I probably do, then it might be a little bit hard to kind of take in and out. But I know that's like very nitpicky. And at this point, we're talking about 3 great smartphones all right here. So now I've got the iPhone set up and we should be good to go and get like a first feel of the phone itself, the size, and what I think about it. So taking a look at the phone itself, as you can probably see, it is really big. If you look at it in my hand, I don't have the biggest hands, but yeah, it is, it's large. But what I really notice is that it has a nice balance to it, and when I'm trying to type on it, it also felt really nice. Keyboard and everything, I feel like at the size and with the flat display, that is something that I like that they've come back to, and a lot of phones in the past couple of years have gone over to like a curved design to make it look good, but I think going back to like a simple flat phone like the iPhone 5s were is what I like, and I think a lot of companies are gonna start circling around with that. Of course there's like curved displays and stuff on the market. So going into the camera app, where a lot of the big features are, it has the 0.5, the 1x, and also the 2.5. And the 1x and the 2.5 are where the differences lie between the iPhone 12 Pro Max and the iPhone 12 Pro, as well as the rest of the lineup. The iPhone 12 Pro Max has a 2.5x camera, which is at an f2.2 aperture, and this is effectively a 63mm lens, so it gives you a little bit more zoom than the iPhone 12 Pro does, and it also lets in a little bit less light based on the aperture. So it'll be interesting to see what the quality is like, and it also gives you up to a 15x digital zoom. Apple did say that this is a 5x optical zoom camera, which is only true if you factor in the ultra-wide camera as well. So I guess it technically is, but it is a little bit confusing. Video is another area that I'm very excited about because not only does it give you 5,000 calculations per second in the sensor shift stabilization, but iPhones already had really good stabilization before, and that gives you 5 times better performance because Apple mentioned that the other iPhones have a 1,000 time calculation per second when it comes to like the whole stabilization thing. But obviously real world results are really gonna be where we're gonna test that. You of course have like the HDR and Dolby Vision video and everything, and there's been a lot of talks of like whether you should use HDR and how you should deal with it. But what I'm very excited about is the Apple ProRAW, which is gonna be coming, I think, soon, but no specific dates yet. And that is gonna give you the ability to change like metadata and everything, as well as like ProRes video and all that kind of stuff, which for people who are like huge camera nerds like myself, is what I think is one of the best features that Apple has added to this year's lineup of Pro smartphones. MagSafe is also one of the other great additions and is one that I've been using quite a bit. As you can see, it is at my desk. So to use that, you obviously just put it on here and your phone will start charging right away, and it gives you the signal right there, and it charges at a speed of 15 watts, which is pretty fast, and that is always nice. But if you use like a typical Qi wireless charger, then it will charge at a max speed of 7.5 watts. You can also get fast charging, of course, through the lightning port and the 20-watt adapter brick that they also sell. I think MagSafe is nice, and I'm still waiting for my MagSafe wallet case to come, and there's going to be a lot of accessories that are coming out, as well as Apple's own charger that also has a Apple Watch dock. As I mentioned from my initial impressions though, the camera bump on the back is quite big. You can tell that it is raised and everything. So I would say this is a phone where you should probably get a case on it, just for the sake of your phone not like kind of bouncing around like this, but also based on the sheer size of it, I think it would just be much easier to hold if you had a case to go with it. But otherwise, that pretty much wraps it up for my unboxing of the iPhone 12 Pro Max, the biggest one in Apple's lineup, and just a last comparison in size between the 12 Pro and also the iPhone 11 Pro Max. There you can take a look at it. And I can't wait to start using this, testing out the camera and everything, and just give you my opinions on whether or not this is the ultimate pro smartphone from Apple for this year. But if you guys enjoy this, make sure you drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all in the next video.